it at least opens a space for us to honor that truth that we know within us. But you know, in the old system, honoring the truth of the individual human being wasn't very cherished. Actually, one of the first times it showed up in centuries and centuries was here in this country in the 1700s, when a group came together and said the honoring of the individual was first and foremost. That we each had certain inalienable rights, and that led to liberty. But you'll notice that more and more we move in the direction of, well, actually what we'll do is we'll throw aside this person for the mass, as though that was going to produce liberty. And it's the exact reverse of what the Founding Fathers knew that it took. And so to honor that individual in their action was a key. The person who goes into propitiation and keeps going down the ladder, keeps buying into the suppression that the culture offers, will then tend to fall into sympathy. They'll be able to find negative identification with many different circumstances. And that negative identification with circumstances becomes an energy that takes them over. We don't need sympathy for anyone. Yes, empathy. Yes, love and support. But sympathy, if you've got someone who's in a down posture and you go in and join them in that, what have you done? You've just reinforced the energy of that down posture, rather than stood as a space of love and support for opening and healing whatever it is that's happening for them. So to stand in that space of love and support becomes the replacement for sympathy. And when sympathy is not given proper healing and expression, it tends to move to grief. And of course, in our culture, we oftentimes see that grief isn't really allowed. It's given the old pat on the back and, oh, everything will be okay, as opposed to being able to experience in deep ways the loss that we as human beings sometimes experience. You'll see people say at the loss of a loved one, and the first thing that happens is, well, give them a pill, they'll feel better. But if you give them a pill, what have you done for them? You've taken the energy of grief that's real and reasonable in the circumstance, and you've just suppressed it into the system. When you suppress the grief, you just lock down the pancreas and the adrenals. And so we'll start to dysfunction on that level. And one by one, the glandular system tends to shut down.